If somebody had asked me about a year ago what our culture was, I would refer to ping pong, scooters. We've got free lunches on Monday, foosball, a lot of team activities that we do. Once we had the culture right, which Threads helped us to really understand what culture was and the difference between culture and the perks. Once we had that right, then felt really comfortable about that we can celebrate that with the ongoing perks. Okay. And our company, the team members really truly live the culture. So I did a search, and I really wish I remember what the search terms were, but it was something like structured reviews, and might have been culture, and up pops Threads is one of the top search hits in Google. And I click on the link and I go and I learn more about it, and I was standing right over here and I literally went, this is it. And so I click on it and I said, I want to learn more about these guys. People are excited to put notes into Threads on an ongoing basis. Instead of doing reviews once a year, we really focused, at least we did in the past, on what went wrong for the most part. On an ongoing basis, when I look into Threads, what excites me about it is that the adoption rate has been very high, and people go in there and they put notes about this person did this really well. And then they might put something in there like, and this is a side thing, just maybe they need to focus on this, and we'll talk to them about it later. But I get really excited about that because we're focusing on the positivity, and we're focusing on nurturing the good things that people do. One of the great things about Threads is just the emphasis on positive, and that you can put positive comments in there and not always have to focus on negativity in reviews, which is, I think, traditionally been what people think about when I think about reviews. In fact, prior to using Threads, I'd have people come up to my office for their review time, and I could just sense this doom walking in with them, and it's like, here we go, we're gonna start talking about all the things I did wrong for the past 12 months. And if I didn't know any different, like I do now, there's probably a way that we would have considered doing reviews continually. It was just, let's focus on the things that you haven't been doing well. Whereas Threads really turns that on its head and says, let's focus on the things that you did well, and let's talk about those and celebrate those. It really gives you this third medium to have a conversation around. Instead of sitting across the table and it's me versus the employee talking through these, it's this third medium in the room that then you both can direct your energy towards and talk around and create a conversation around some of those good things and some of the things that need to be improved upon. One of the most profound things of working with Threads that I can think of to tell you the story is just the opportunity to reflect and think about really what we stood for as a company. As I started to write out what are our values, it became evident to me that if I asked each person in this office what our values were, and there's 20 people here, I would have gotten 20 completely different answers. And so one of the great things about rolling Threads out was that I needed to come up with concrete values. And I think that prior to using Threads, it's just one of those things that I would never put on my calendar, would have never sat down to do it. So I locked myself in my office literally for 2 days, and I wrote and I wrote and I scratched out and I threw away and I banged my head against the wall, and I was like, this shouldn't be this hard. After 2 days, I came up with the 5 I's, and it was a page and a half worth of our values. And now those are what we live by as an organization at Visual Logic, and doing that exercise was tough, which is probably why it was ignored. The one thing I would say to a company that was looking at Threads to roll out as their review software is they have really done a great job of striking the balance between here's the software and here's the human aspect of it. Never ever once did I feel like, sometimes you do when you implement a software product, which is you're on your own, here's the piece of software, you figure it out. We had guidance all along the way, which was really beneficial.